Hey everyone, welcome to Our Beautiful Brains. I'm Kira Matalasi, and today I'm going to be telling you about 5 different ways to help quell anxiety attacks and really regulate your nervous system. If you haven't already, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, a like, even though that's the same thing, thumbs up, share, it really does help the algorithm. I'll give you a second to pause. Okay, now we're back at it and let's get into it. So the first and most doable things, even when you're out in public or at home, is drinking water. Now some of y'all might be like, okay, duh, but it really, just hear me out. So ideally you're gonna wanna get ice cold water, put ice in it, just get the coldest setting that you have on your little dispenser. However you get your water, if you live outside of the States, and actually drink your tap water. The reason why cold water is going to work is if you think about the cold, it's constricting. I believe, doctors, if you're watching this, don't come after me. It's going to constrict all your blood vessels and it causes your heart to slow down. Because you think about when somebody freezes to death, that's horrible, but their hearts just kind of slowly, and then they fall asleep. So if that's the visual you needed, or if that's the example, I feel like that's the easiest. I'm struggling to come up with a better analogy than that, so let's just run with this. Not just drinking the cold water, it's going to be to pay attention as the water is going down your throat. You just feel the water going down here, past your sternum, into your stomach. So you're going to want to drink, close your eyes, and then picture it going down in your stomach. And then as you're doing that, you can do it for about 10 times. If you want to do it more than that, feel free. Once you do everything enough times, it's going to just start regulating your body, because like the hiccups, if you didn't know, hiccups is caused by irregular breathing. So that's why like a lot of the times you hear people say drink water, blah blah blah. So you could just regulate your breathing and then you're cured. So yeah, drinking cold water is number 1. It's really important. 1, to sustain you, and it helps hydrate your brain. And 2, it really helps just slow down your system and helps you breathe and helps you just kind of stabilize yourself in an anxious moment where you feel all over the place. Number 2 is easy when you're at home. If you're out with your friends outside on the town, this may be harder. But it's just to get away from as much stimuli as you can. A lot of anxiety is just from too much stimuli. So if you're in a place where you can get to a dark, quiet place that's safe, like a bedroom, you can just turn the lights off, do that. That is something that's really helped me a lot in my journey, just to regulate myself when I get really nervous, because a lot of the times with epilepsy, but with a lot of just different illnesses, it's easy to, and just situations in life, it's really easy to just think, what could happen? What could happen after this? Could I have a seizure? Blah, 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 blah. What could happen? And then just kind of snowballs. So just being in an environment where you can just shut all of that off. You don't have to fall asleep, but resting is really important. So I'd say, yeah, if you can go in a room, cut off all stimuli. It's a really easy thing. If you're not feeling like doing the whole water thing, all you need is yourself and darkness. And if you can't get darkness, you can just put on an eye mask. That works very well. If you don't have an eye mask, you can put a shirt over your eyes. If you don't have that, you could put a pillow over your eyes. There's just certain ways to, get darkness. And if you happen to have a Harry Potter closet, even better. Number 3 is going to be moving slowly, intentionally. And you're going to be like, Kira, what? How does that? What do you know? My mom actually taught me this. Her therapist taught her this because we've both been in trauma therapy. Let's say I wanted to take this roll-on, okay, and undo it and put it on my neck, right? So, if I were moving slowly, intentionally, I'd grab it. Let's just say I'm right here because I don't want to make it super slow. So you're gonna, and this is gonna be like comically slow. But what this does is it causes your brain to focus on one thing at a time. Like right now, my only goal is to take this off. So all of those external thoughts that are running through your mind are just gonna have to sit on the back burner, because the thing that I'm only worried about is opening this dang top, alright? So, and then it's even get to the point I'm not just gonna grab it off, you see. I'm curling my fingers around. Ooh. And then slowly twisting. You're probably watching this like, damn, I'm bored. But exactly, that's the point. Is just to calm down and just regulate your system. That's a really cool way to do something. You could be anywhere, you could be at your house, you could be out, you could be at a restaurant. That's a good one if you get really uncomfortable in social settings. Maybe you could just do something really slow underneath the table. Just if you're with your besties and you just tell them you need to regulate, you could just move hella slow. Perfect. Number 4 is going to be talking about your dream destination or your safe place. And this is something I've done in therapy a lot of the times when I was just introducing myself to a new concept or like a memory I pushed back. Oftentimes what happens is when those memories come up, you start to get triggered and then anxiety happens. Oftentimes you get an anxiety attack. So then the tool that she gave me was, okay, acknowledge the feeling, acknowledge that you're feeling anxious. You acknowledge that you're feeling anxious, obviously, because you're like, no crap, alright? So then what you do is you close your eyes and you describe a place that is not chaotic. Similar to the moving slowly intentionally, right? This is shutting off your brain and this is like, okay, what do I visualize? I visualize personally a beach. It's quiet, there's not that many people, there's a slope I can go up to a bunch of like rice paddy fields, and it's just, that's mine. So if you want to set some time aside to just figure out what yours is, or if you want to talk it through in the moment, it's putting you outside of your current self. Or even if you want to talk about like how anxious you feel, like I'm really anxious, I don't know why I'm anxious, da da da. If you just start to list how you feel, my chest feels really tight, I'm feeling it in my stomach, I'm feeling it, just getting it out there, because a lot of times with anxiety, like you're stimulated by all the external things, and I know I've been saying outward, but a lot of that feeling is just compacted inside. So the stimuli is out here, the anxiety is going to make you crunch up, so you going to a different place or you expressing your emotions is gonna lift up all that out of there and leave it with the external stimuli and leave you clear, and it's a buffer between the external stimuli because it's an acknowledgement. The 5th and final thing today is going to be physical affirmation, and that could look like hugging yourself, have somebody else hugging you, you just leaning up against somebody. We're social creatures, like we need confirmation. It can come from ourselves, of course, 1,000,000%. Not everyone wants to be, physically affirmed. I totally get that. But a lot of people are social creatures, so even if it's just the people close to us, like we need that feeling. And when you've just hugged somebody and you just feel there's a lot of nerves, so when we're compressing ourselves, it's bringing all that attention to one spot. So once again, we're not feeling like we're spiraling. And I've hugged myself so much and cried, to be honest. Like, this is not me pushing, like I said, affection towards other people, because we're not all in a situation where we can feel comfortable around people. If your child has a chronic illness, epilepsy, whichever, where they tend to have a lot of panic attacks. My mom did this for me. So she sat with me when I was like on the floor freaking out. I was in like child's pose trying to take deep breaths. And she just like sat down, and then I leaned up against her because I was just like done. I was like, I'm freaking out. I don't have control over myself. And then I just like laid down on her chest, and the heartbeat, because you have to think as a parent, when you give birth to your child, that's something that we don't even consciously know. We don't get to turn that off or on, whether or not that comforts us, because we're in somebody's body for 9 to 10 months, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you hear as you're growing, as your bones are developing, as your heart develops, like your heart mimics their heart, you know what I'm saying? So it's really a beautiful full circle experience, because the rhythm, it's the same. And the pattern of all of these techniques is just rhythm, slow, just coming to one singular thing instead of trying to be everywhere the external stimuli is. So parents, that's so big. It's also big. It even into adulthood, you're always their parent and you are always their child. So that's something that could really connect you too with your parents. I know once I started to do that, I felt like a kid again. And sometimes it's nice to feel like a kid again because, like I said, we're pushed in different cultures to go so fast and to not wait to be an adult so you can grow up and be so successful. Like, sometimes just be a kid and tap into the kid part of you, or let your kids still tap into that as they get older, you know? That caps it off with the 5 different ways to quell anxiety attacks and regulate your nervous system. I hope you did learn a lot. This all came from the bottom of my little heart. So yeah, I love y'all and thanks for supporting thus far. I shall see y'all soon. Bye. Oh, and also don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if y'all haven't already. Bye. I feel like a cute girl. I got this from the, I was gonna say Apple store, but that's not true. I got this from the antique store. It feels so good. I feel like my friend Noye. She's the baddest of the thrift stores thus far, honey.